Hello, graduation parties are all about breaking the rules and doing whatever you want. But is it really worth it to spend this special day at a water park where the cost of reckless behavior could be your life? Be sure to watch the video until the end to discover who makes it through. On graduation day, the graduates of Valley Hills High gather outside the gates of Wet Valley Water Park. Amidst the young, muscular boys dressed in vibrant shorts and t-shirts, there are three men clad in black who do not receive a particularly warm welcome. These men form a music group expected to perform at the party, and they are also graduating from high school this year. However, one party member is clearly opposed to the band's performance. The tense exchange between the boys is suddenly interrupted by Alice, whose sarcasm skillfully targets Phil's sensitive areas with her sharp words. The charming red-haired girl cheerfully acknowledges the shortcomings with a playful demeanor. She leads the prom committee and confidently announces through a megaphone that she has put in her utmost effort to organize an unforgettable weekend event for the alumni at Wet Valley Water Park. This gathering is also a cherished annual tradition for Valley Hills alumni, dating back to the year 1988. People are immediately excited and eagerly pack their bags full of bus with the intention of breaking all the rules tonight. They have run out of booze and some other interesting items. The lovely Alice first visits her lover, Paul, who is the head of the water park. Meanwhile, a group of boys and girls leave their rooms, eager to enjoy themselves on the water slides. In the meantime, the marching band is preparing their equipment for the evening's performance. As they get ready, they are joined on stage by Conrad Carter, who used to work there. The boys inform him that they will be playing music from the past tonight. This conversation stirs up a lot of memories for Conrad, especially about the opening of Wet Valley back in 1984. However, unlike Conrad, the musicians do not seem particularly enthusiastic. Josh reminds the elderly man about the murder that happened at the water park 84. Conrad, however, dismisses it indifferently as merely an accident and wishes the band a successful performance on what he considers the best weekend of the year, even if not everything goes according to plan tonight. The enchanting Priscilla, who is Paul's wife and also works at the water park, gathers girls in bikinis for the traditional annual car wash event. This wet foam show helps them earn money, which one of the girls will need in the fall to pursue her studies in. Europe is essential. Kim arrives at the band's rehearsal. She knows Josh and enjoys a pleasant conversation with him. 2001. They clearly share a common interest, but their chat is cut short by a jealous Tommy searching for his girlfriend. Tommy and Kim are a couple and work together at the water park. A serious-looking man in a costly car filled with blueprints listens to a message from his son. He extends an invitation to Michael for both the prom and a band performance in the evening at Wet Valley. Meanwhile, the activities at the water park are bustling with excitement. One of the graduates in a drunken state decides to break the rules. He leaps onto a slide and makes his way into the pool, holding alcohol in his hands. His friend, who follows him, unfortunately collides his forehead with the glass bottle with great force. The glass shatters, and blood from the injury begins to fill the pool. Priscilla leisurely walks by the pool wearing a bikini, catching the eyes of Alice and the musicians. One of the musicians decides to seize the moment and introduce himself to her. However, his clumsy attempt is cut short by a phone call. The girl answers the call from her lover, Michael, who asks her out on a date. Meanwhile, Conrad is standing waist-deep in the water, gathering the broken pieces from the pool's bottom. It's currently unsafe to swim in it. At Paul's request, the boy with the head injury is taken away by an ambulance. To expedite the injured man's exit from the park, the resourceful man hands the paramedics 2 tickets. Eventually, the sun sets over Wet Valley. The band is preparing to perform, and the musicians must ensure their equipment is fully ready. The boys persuade Tommy, who hesitantly agrees to their request. He can't even leave his girlfriend Kim for a short time, but his worries are confirmed. Once Tommy is out of sight, Kim ends up with her ex, the band's lead singer Josh. The pair sneak away for some privacy. As night descends, the group prepares for the party, not entirely sober. The intoxicated crowd of former students dive into the water and have a wild time on the slides, entirely forgetting to follow the safety rules. At the same time, red-haired Alice announces that the concert is about to begin. As the audience begins to get into the music, suddenly, everyone receives a message on their cell phones. It's a video of Josh and Kim having a romantic shower date. Tommy notices this message on his girlfriend's phone, and, overwhelmed by jealousy and anger, he rushes onto the stage to confront his rival. Amidst cheers from the audience, he successfully brings Josh down using a few well-placed punches. Meanwhile, Priscilla, who has just come back from a lovely date with Michael, attempts to stop the conflict and criticizes Tommy for initiating the fight. However, Priscilla starts to feel a twinge of jealousy when she notices her husband Paul is quite enjoying the company of the young Alice. As a result, the couple ends up arguing in front of everyone in the audience. Josh's father, Michael, fails to defend his son. He stands waiting for him just behind the stage, rationalizing his actions by claiming that such disputes might harm his reputation. In an attempt to make amends, Michael proposes to gift his son the Wet Valley Water Park, a property he is already in talks to acquire. However, all Josh desires is for Michael to act like a father and not try to win him over with presents. Alice overhears the conversation and rushes to Paul, complaining he's keeping things from her. After addressing the clingy girl, the water park director dismisses her, ending their relationship. That night, someone sets a deadly trap on one of the 3 slides using 2 crossed metal blades. At sunrise, the weekend at Wet Valley Water Park resumes. Michael is also present. He is inspecting the grounds of his future property when unexpectedly an assassin creeps up from behind him. Michael is quite familiar with the man aiming the gun at him. However, the persuasion fails, and a shot is fired. Meanwhile, the children are gathering for the team slide competition. It's the 15th annual Sea Snake Contest. Old Conrad turns on the water valve, setting the entire water park in motion as the participants begin to register. The winners are awarded prize money of $500. Rebellious Tommy also shows up for the competition. Priscilla reminds him that it is now over 2001. Despite this, he has come as a competitor and insists on staying. However, Tommy is no longer welcome here, and the bully Phil blocks him from the slides and pushes him away. The furious boy has no choice but to admit his loss and depart. As he roams beneath the chute pipes by himself, he observes a significant leak at the joint. He discovers plastic shavings scattered on the ground and deduces that there is a damage on the slide, which might pose a serious threat to safety. Meanwhile, old Conrad is perched on the lifeguard tower. He is feeling cheerful, enjoying a smoke, and eagerly anticipating the beginning of the competition. Upstairs, Paul and Priscilla are busy organizing the contestants. Despite their frequent squabbles, they must work together on this task. An anxious Tommy rushes into the crowd of boys and girls who are climbing the stairs. He has forgotten his previous grudge and urgently wants to warn everyone that using the slides is dangerous and that the competition should end immediately. However, he already has the reputation of being a madman among his classmates, so no one takes his behavior seriously. The participants are brimming with excitement as they line up eagerly for the competition. Both boys and girls are divided into teams of 3 members each. Alice, along with her friends, makes a show of choosing between various slides to catch the eye of her ex-lover and his wife. In the first group, the girls will slide, along with Josh, Kim, and Chad. Once everyone is prepared and the starting gun goes off, Tommy charges energetically onto the stage. He makes yet another attempt to warn the crowd about the impending danger and to stop the race from continuing. Unfortunately, his warning is ignored once more. Each team continues to race happily down the chute, though one of them will not make it to the final life. There is a cross of metal blades on one of the slides, 2001, waiting for its victim. Tommy also goes down the slide. Phil is really irritated by his behavior and ends up pushing him behind one of the teams. Specifically, it's the team led by red-haired Alice, who, along with her friends, has unfortunately fallen into the death trap. Beside the 2 successful teams, a bloody stream is seen pouring out of the pipe from the 3rd chute, which confirms what Tommy had said. Old Conrad, overwhelmed by the sight, loses consciousness and falls from the tower, injuring his leg in the process. Then, Priscilla calls him on the radio to ask about sending in the next contestants. Downstairs, panic erupts and everyone flees. Kim is frozen in the bloody pool, and Chad feels nauseous. Conrad, now conscious, tries to warn others of the danger via radio, but the radio fails, leaving those upstairs clueless. Priscilla makes the decision that it's all right to send in the next contestants and encourages Paul to participate as well. 3 brand new groups make their way down the chutes. Paul bravely takes on the death slide. While descending, he hears Tommy, who is trapped in the slide, shouting and manages to halt himself too. Paul attempts to rescue him from the deadly trap. However, when Josh arrives, he lacks the strength to stop himself, and Paul ends up getting caught in the blades. Old Conrad instructs Kim to shut off the water. In the back room, she discovers the lifeless bodies of Michael, who was the bassist of the band, and Josh's father. She slips and falls into a pool of blood. Meanwhile, the pool water has changed color from clear to a deep purple. The police arrive at the scene to investigate. Josh and Kim find themselves in the lawyer's office, where he tells them that Michael has bequeathed his entire fortune to his son, Josh. To inherit the property, the boy needs to sign the real estate transaction documents his father couldn't complete. The plan is to construct a shopping center at the location of the Wet Valley Water Park. Josh proceeds to sign the necessary papers and gives Priscilla the check to finalize the deal. The widow, still in mourning, wipes her tears away, and suddenly, a sly and victorious smile emerges across her face, revealing her true feelings. Her plan for revenge due to her father's tragic death at Wet Valley Water Park back in the year 1984 is absolutely perfect. As always, you can find the movie's title listed in the description below. In the meantime, let us know in the comments section if you have plans to visit a water park anytime soon. And were you able to guess who was involved in the entire situation?